almost 1 year after we started off this series. Since last year, we have been discussing Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta for, I think, almost 20 days, 20 weeks, roughly around 4 months and a half. And then we started off studying Sabbasava Sutta, which I think was finished by November almost. And then we started off, what is that? Pattakamma Sutta. So Pattakamma Sutta is almost going to be finished in a couple more weeks. And one change we did was the time change, so we can finish our Sutta discussion by 9:30. So you can go home early. All right. So let's light a candle to respect the Buddha, and then we'll start. So shall we respect the Buddha by saluting him? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So we are going to discuss about the third Pattakamma. What is a Pattakamma? Pattakamma? Worthy deed. In terms of? In terms of wealth management, right? Now this is mostly about wealth management, merit, good karma. They all come under the wealth management. That means as a lay person, you are supposed to manage your wealth properly. So if somebody is espousing an idea that wealth is no more important in Buddhism, that is going to be a misunderstanding. Now when you talk about Buddhism, there are people who are having the idea of that money is evil and everything we have to let go, isn't it? This monastic Buddhism, which so-called, it is something that we have to understand on a different layer. But they are not making money unless you are teaching somewhere. So in terms of your life, your lay life, you need to manage, handle, plan, pre-plan, do a lot of things in terms of wealth without being greedy for the money. Greed is the problem. Otherwise, money is not evil for a layperson. Right? So we have to clearly understand that. We clearly understand this issue when we look at these suttas. Otherwise, if you watch a certain monastic Dhamma talk, you will not understand this. You will think that everything has to be discarded, right? Recently, in a retreat, someone asked a question about in a personal interview time. He is saying that he does 3 meditations every day. And then he was trying to explain to me the meditations. First is Anapanasati breath meditation. Second is Metta meditation. Third is Asubha meditation. Then I said breath meditation and Metta meditation is a fusion of these two is okay, because it's our backup. Every time when we do other meditations, we start with these two meditation, right? Gratitude meditation, forgiveness meditation, right? There are many ways to practice meditation, not one way. But why do you practice asubha meditation? What is the reason for your practice of asubha? Asubha means observing the 32 body parts, actually 31 body parts. 32 is a later addition. The mattalunga means brain. Now they somehow added brain, the Satipatthana Sutta, there are only 31. I don't know why they added brain. I think maybe the Theravada addition, that they were thinking the brain is not a part of this list. The mattalunga was added later. 31 in the Patikula Manasikara section of the Kayanupassana in the Satipatthana Suttas. Anyway, so I asked, why you practice it? No, I just pick it up. I read from somewhere. I just practice it. I said, there is a small problem here. The problem is, I know it might be an individualistic issue. There was someone who has been practicing Anapanasati, breath meditation, for some time. Then a Dhamma teacher changed her meditation into Asubha. 32 body parts. Right? We have so many parts, but to think about, but exactly the 32 body parts. I mean, our teeth, head hair, body hair, then liver, heart, bones, bone marrow, spleen, intestine, right? Someone might think about, at a time we have to see a lot of things. Why are we looking at these body parts? 32 body parts. So then she changed her meditation into watching her own 32 body parts, and when she sees other people, she does not recognize them as beings. You are 32 body parts, she calls. And she started disowning family members, sisters, brothers, mother, father. She doesn't want to join family activities. She doesn't like, because they all are carrying 32 body parts. They are no more importance, because they are just 32 body parts. And then she says, something wrong in my meditation now. What can I do? I said, stop this Asubha meditation. And then let me know in a couple of weeks or months the progress. And she stopped it. And said, you go back to Anapanasati, breath meditation, backup, your main backup of your meditation. She said, now I start liking my family members. I start liking myself. I start liking my own self-care. Then she asked, then what is this 32 body parts meditation for? I said, this is like an antibiotic. This is given to certain people who have lots of sexual desires, lots of high level of. They are so much struggling with, they can't even manage their sexual energy. They can become womanizers among men. What is the word for the ladies? I don't know. There might be a word. They can become, maybe. What is that? Manizers. Manizers, womanizers. These people, they can't take care of their sexual, they go to fantasies, and then they can't, take care of their thoughts. Otherwise you get to love one woman or one man, or that kind of perspective, and then think about that person. You only look at it. You're going to manage your energy onto that person. That's pretty healthy. Not going to a polyamorous kind of a thought, which is on Dhamma side, it could be a wrong thing. Also from your side, that might break your own self-interest in terms of ethics. So, going back to Asubha meditation, then had to stop this Asubha. It is only given to certain individuals. I would say it's kind of a prescription drug. The prescription drugs you can't buy. You have to have a prescription from a doctor, and the prescription drug is normally given to a certain person within a certain period of time. You can't continue it because that can carry certain issues to your liver. Right? Finally, your issue will be okay, then the liver will be damaged. Right? So that is how we understand these things. So going back to the Pattakamma's whole idea, this Pattakamma is the worthy deed. That means it is about wealth management. As a layperson, you must manage your wealth, not from a economic background as well, but from a spiritual background. Nobody thinks about that spiritually you are supposed to handle your money. You are supposed to handle your money because poverty is a dukkha, no matter where you are going to be reborn. Buddha said, Dalidyang bhikkhave dukkhasminti. Dalidya means poverty. Poverty is a dukkha. Not being able to afford is a dukkha. It happens, right? You might not be somebody who might say, I don't check out the price tag and bring the item onto the checkout counter. Then only the salesperson, scan the price tag. Then only I pay. But there are people who have to always look at the price tag and then to, find the budget for that particular item. They have a cut-to-bone budget sometimes, right? So that is why the Buddha said you have to manage your finance. This is how we are understanding Pattakamma. And today we are going to discuss about the third Pattakamma. Can I know the first two Pattakammas? What was the first Pattakamma? Now, when you have wealth, even let's say that you are someone who has been earning wealth at the infantry level. Let's say you don't have lots of money. Even though you can think about all these aspects, you don't have to become a certain rich person, well-to-do person to think about these things. So the first Pattakamma is, the priority list is self-care. It's pretty important, right? Self-care is very important. It's very important to understand that self-care plays a bigger role in our life. If you going beyond the money, think about inner healing. A lot of people talk about it. Especially, are we really forgiving us for the mistakes we done in our past? Are we still self-blaming us for the mistakes we did about us? Are we really, forgiving us for the mistakes, for the wrong thing, for the wrong behavior we did to other people? And are we really forgiving others for what they have done to us in terms of hurt, discriminations, bullying, and all that? So what does this everything mean? Self-care. There are people who have been maintaining their hurt and all that for many decades. Right? Sometimes they do hurt journaling. Some people, right? They say, I can forgive you, but I cannot forget it. A Christian idea, it's not a Buddhist idea. It's not our way. We have to be able to forgive. This is self-care. Self-care can be looked at from many angles. So self-care is where you're going to invest with your wealth management in the first place. Second, with self-care, it has other care also. Mother, father, family members, friends, colleagues, all these people. Then, now you are sufficiently addressing this part of your wealth management. Then you are moving on to, at the same time, it's not that you finish and then go to the next target group. While you've been maintaining your self-care with your wealth management, while keeping that, then you are at the same time going to set aside some wealth for the second group. What is the second group? Crisis management. Crisis. Are we sometimes going through crisis type of things? What are the crisis things you are going through sometimes? Fire hazards. Then What else? Break-ins. Thieves sometimes break in. Robbery. What else? Health. Does the Buddha talk about health here? Apada. You can see apada. Agito, fire hazards. Udakato, water hazards. Rajato, unfair treatment from the governments. Sometimes they increase VAT, different taxes, some laws. They are imposing certain laws that you can't go like this, you have to be like this, right? XYZ things, right? And then chorato, robberies. This is appiyato va dayadato. That means letting your money be gone to the people who you don't like. Sometimes some people, they say that don't buy anything for me because when I die these things will go to my siblings. Right? They are telling loved ones about it, don't buy anything for me, because why don't you make a will and with some terms and conditions? That's how we're going to prepare for the death, right? So appiyato va dayadato. That means no management of your future inheritance. That is also a crisis in many places. Now, when we do certain programs, there are people who are always coming up with inheritance issues, right? Sometimes some people promise to them before they passed away. Then when they passed away, there is no say about it. So they are now very concerned about it. My father told me he would give me the apartment. Then he passed away. Now mother is not cooperating with the daughter. What should I do? Right? Why is this? As a parent, as someone who has some properties, some real estate, they have a responsibility to plan ahead. Otherwise, these children will be fighting each other. They might even go to the court. So what they have left behind is a mess. Now in Sri Lanka, it is said that this is not something to insult. There are many temples where they have problems about the chief monkhood, court cases. The court is never going to be the solution for the temple, because when the chief monk passes away, there is no successor. So the second level of layer of monks, they are having their own audience of devotees, and somebody will be appointed from the certain monk tradition, but others are not happy. So when they go to the court, then the court is asking all the parties should be present. They are not participating in the case. So there are a lot of unresolved law cases, not even there, in many other places. Transition of a temple's management onto the next monk is a big issue in many countries. Not in Japan, not in those countries, because they have their own system. So inheritance is a problem. That means inheritance is a good thing, but when people are not properly managing that inheritance to pass down to the right person, there is no smooth transition and there will be issues. So it's a crisis. So there are a couple things only. Fire hazards, water hazards, unfair government treatments, then robberies. Then robberies include a lot of things: pickpocketing, purse snatching. Right? They are big issues, especially when you are walking on the streets. You can be sometimes potentially picked up by these, pickpocketers, right? Sometimes they are well dressed, like gentlemen, ladies, four ladies coming, and then one lady is distracting you. The second lady is trying to turn, and the third one is the one who is going to picking up your pocket, the wallet, in some countries. So all these are crises. So we have to understand, rather than not blaming these people, we have to understand how can a robbery be happening on the street as a daylight robbery, right? So then we are managing our wealth, not blaming the country. See, there are a lot of pickpocketers, uh, you know, uh, like such as those people. So this is our second Pattakamma, wealth management. So what did we discuss about it? Buying some insurance is a good idea. I mean, I'm not from the insurance background. Just you might think that I have come to tell that you have to buy insurance, but insurance is a good thing. There are small, tiny letters we never see. Only when you claim, then you understand you are not covered. They write in very small letters, right? Because people are so much interested to buy the insurance. So, and then there is a deductible, and we never know how much is it, and the premium. So it's kind of a win-win situation for many people. I understand how they are playing and how you are supposed to play with this insurance. But anyways, insurance is a good thing, especially medical insurance. I think you still have to buy insurance, right? Medical insurance. Because if there is a universal medical insurance, then it's good. Otherwise, you must. So insurance is one thing. Then the second thing is what you call planning ahead. At the same time, writing a will. These are very important in your lay life to plan your wealth. So don't die without doing these things. Then you will be somebody who has not practiced Buddhism well. Practice of Buddhism is not going to a retreat and take precepts and spend the day. It is a larger, wider thing actually. Because you have to practice things as a lay person. So Buddhism goes to your money, it goes to your lay life, it goes to your spiritual. It covers all the spectrums of your lay life. It is not only a meditation. It is not only a chanting. It is not only a dana, right? It goes to all the aspects of your life. All right, so we are now today going to the third Pattakamma. Let's read. Punacha parang gahapati arya savako uttana viryadi gatehi bhogehi baha bala parjitehi seda vakittehi dhammikehi dhammaladdehi. This is the same phrase, which means now you are someone who is called arya savako, noble disciple, who has earned money. Uttana viryadi gatehi. Uttana viryadi gatehi means energetic striving. You have lots of virya. Baha bala parjitehi, with the strength of your arms. Actually, these have to be changed with the conditions. Nowadays, people work, they engage in smart jobs, right? So you don't always use your hands, but you might use hands in a different way. So we have to understand Buddhism depending on the time. Conditions are very important. I remember there was a professor who was asking me, there was a Burmese monk who went to Montreal long time ago in the winter, and the monk used to walk barefoot in the winter, which has 40 minus centigrade in Montreal. Right? It's a pretty bad weather, terrible weather. And then she was telling me, see, the practice is superb, good. And she's asking my opinions. I don't have to engage in her situation. I said that is not a good thing. He should have worn a winter boot. This is Canada, this is not India, this is not Sri Lanka, this is not Malaysia, Thailand. Because then she started saying, no, Buddha knows the three times, Loka Vidu. He knows the past, he knows the present time, he knows the future. No, she said the Dhamma is akalika, timeless. I said Dhamma is timeless, but Vinaya is not timeless. Vinaya was laid down depending on the time, right? So this thing is not a good idea, right? So he should have worn some winter boots. I don't know how long he stayed, but he used to walk barefoot in the 40 minus centigrade weather. So we have to understand the conditions. Conditions are, understanding the condition is very important. It's like the Vassa, Katina ceremony. What is the purpose of Vassa ceremony? Tell me. Buddha didn't want to do it. Jains, the Nigantanatha Buddha's followers did that. So during the Vassana time, July to October time, it is the monsoon rainy season in India. So the Nigantanatha Buddha's followers stopped traveling. One thing is that at that time there were no cars, vehicles. They had to walk, no powers, I think. So they stayed. So when the Buddha's disciples kept walking everywhere, traveling everywhere for dissemination Dhamma, some people started opposing this idea. You are still trying to approach your devotees, people. You should at least stop during this time, because you are walking on the newly grown grass. At that time there were no asphalted roads, sidewalks as well. So then Buddha said, okay, I will lay down a Vinaya rule. That was during the Vassana time, you don't need to travel for Dhamma. You should stay in one place and then focus on that particular group. And then he said, if you really want to go out, go for a maximum of 7 days. But even in that 7-day time, if you have some problems, like if you encounter a snake in that place, the snake is there, you can't chase him out, then you can go, you can get out of that place. If you have other problems, like thieves are coming to rob you, then you can't keep the Vassa. He was very compassionate. So now, see the condition. Now at that time, they had to walk, travel. Now, we have been following this rule up to this time. But the funny thing is that now they are staying 3 months in one temple. Then they are supposed to travel. Isn't it? August, September, October. That means after the Katina was not attached to Vassa at that time. It was a follow-up situation. Let's say Katina, we accept Katina ceremony. Then after Katina, they must start traveling to spread the Dhamma across. But now what is happening is that all those respected monks, they start staying in the same temple for the rest of the 9 months. Isn't it? So what is the purpose of Vassa then? So you have to travel then. Bring the message. That's why I'm telling you, you take only a certain aspect, fraction of that thing. The other part will be ignored. So it is because, I'm not disrespecting any Sangha member, because they can't do anything going beyond the temple situation. But when you think about, why did the Buddha lay down this rule? Why did the Buddha ask us to do this and that? There are conditions, there were conditions in order for him to impose those disciplinary rules. But by now, they are not going to practical at times. Certain rules are not the main ones. I mean, so Baha Bala Parijita has to be understood. Smart working, hard working, all these. Nowadays, these young ones, they misuse sometimes this smart working. They are lazy sometimes. They cut corners all the time, they want to cut corners. But, I mean, not everybody, some of them. So, smart working could be that you spend a lot of hours, at the same time you use your intellect, use your other abilities, a computer, maybe online stuff, right? But anyways, whatever the way that you are making money out of online activities, it has to be something that you are sacrificing your time. Seda vakitte, that means sweating. At that time there was no air conditioning, so they had to sweat. But in today's world, you don't see people are sweating in the work unless they do a very primary kind of work, right? Right. So, anyways, now the money is coming, wealth is coming to someone through these ways for the third Pattakamma. What is the third Pattakamma? pancha baling katta. There are 5 balis that you are supposed to do. 5 balis. Bali means, what is bali? Offering, bali. Now when I read about the Bali, the English name Bali, the city comes from Bali, the Hindu. There are a lot of Hindus in Bali, right? They use the Sanskrit word Bali, right? There are a lot of Balis in India at that time. What are the Balis that were in India at that time? We call it Yaga also. That means a lot of cows were killed, a lot of goats were killed, other animals were killed, right? For the Yagas, for the Balis. Have you ever found out this Pali word somewhere else in your reading, Sutta readings? You haven't found out this Pali word anywhere in your Sutta reading? Isn't it? Are you sure? This Pali word? Bali? Others? Have you ever found out this Pali word anywhere else? In your Sutta readings? I will make it a little simple. In your chanting? Huh? Have you ever heard this statement? Divacha rattocha harantiye bali. Divacha rattocha harantiye bali. This is the word. Baling. Where is this mentioned? Now when you go back home tonight, turn over the chanting book. Then you will find out. Where is this mentioned? Ratana Sutta. A sutta that you chant every day but you can't remember. Why? You don't know the meaning. This is the problem. Right? Because you think that, some people think that managing the country is the duty of the politicians. Giving the blessings to us is the job of the monks. And then we don't have to learn these things. This is the issue. Because you have to understand what these suttas are talking about. Not just based on some others chanting. You are not fully blessed. So I would say chanting mistakes. There are dana mistakes, chanting mistakes, mindfulness mistakes, sila mistakes. So this is if you don't remember the meaning, chanting mistake. Tasmahi bhuta nisameta sabbe mettan karuta manusiya pajaya. Divacha rattocha harantiye baling. Tasmahine rakkata appamatta. Can we go to the Ratana Sutta and see? Then you will remember. All right. See that? Tasmahi bhuta nisameta sabbe mettan karota manusiya pajaya. Divacha rattocha harantiye baling. Tasmahi ne rakkata appamatta. Second verse of the Ratana Sutta. Can we find out the meaning here? Let's find out. How many of you chant this sutta every day? Or perhaps sometimes? There's living proof, huh? Others? You have no chanting practice. Okay. And then? Do you chant every day? Huh? What suttas do you chant? Metta Sutta. Then? Mangala Sutta. Others? There's no that kind of a so-called chanting. All right. Now in the Ratana Sutta there is a problem. What is the problem? In the city of Visala, there happened a problem to the people. One is a drought, which has a famine, no food. Second is evil forces attack the city. And because of the evil forces attack, people died. So the decomposed bodies were eaten up by the evil spirits, the yakkas. We call pisacha. Pisacha. This is a kind of being who is a group of flesh-eating non-humans, pisachas. So they are quite popular in the text to flesh-eating evil spirits. So now the city has been attacked by all these things. So at that time, the Buddha was living, I think he was living in the state of Magadha, with the King Bimbisara's place. So they sent some emissaries, and then finally the Buddha started coming. He came, and then what happened? Buddha taught this sutta to Bhante Ananda. And then Bhante Ananda is the one who chanted this sutta by sprinkling water. This is the second verse of that sutta. What does it mean? Tasmahi bhuta nisameta sabbe. Nisameta means listen carefully. Therefore, all the beings, non-spirit, spirits, evil spirits, and non-human beings, including Deva, Yakka, all, please, all non-human beings, sabbe bhuta, nisameta, listen to me, listen to us, nisameta. And then the Bhante Ananda, with the support of Buddha, is asking them, mettang karota, please spread metta to these affected people in the city of Visala. Why? Why you are supposed to give metta to these people? Divacha ratto cha haranti ye baling. Swan. Because these people in the city of Visala, they are giving you bali day and night. Diva means day, ratto means night. Tasma, therefore, you should diligently appamatta rakketa, protect these people. Now, if the people are giving balis, sacrifices to the Deva, Naga, Mahindika, why they don't do their job? That means just because you offer things to the Deva, they don't take that. Isn't it? Either they have not done their job properly, either you have not done it properly. Isn't it? It could be either ways. Because these Deva, Naga, Mahindika, they know that Visala was attacked by the evil beings. Why can't they help? That's why Bhante Ananda is saying, why don't you do your job? Because these people, Diva day, Rattu night, Harantiye baling, bring offerings to you. They put offerings to you. They are requesting help from me, but you haven't done it. That means, just because we offer things to the Deva, they won't come and take it. This is what it says. Because they know that these people are always putting offerings, trays and everything. Right? What do you think about it? What is the problem here? Why Devas are not intervening in this issue? Visala. Why Bhante Ananda, Buddha, they all had to go and then talk about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the importance of triple gem. Why? What do you think? Unless? No, these people are asking permission every day and night. Offerings are not the right kind. If they are not the right kind, then Bhante Ananda cannot say that they are offering to you. So they are offering, you have to intervene. One thought about this is, maybe the situation has gone out of the out of the hand of the Deva, because situation has been very worse now in the Visala. Because these pisachas, all these non-humans have come and now eating up all the mortified bodies. And at the same time, Devas are not doing their job at the same time. That means you have to understand that to do the offering in the proper way. How to do an offering in the proper way? You should have a certain sila in your life. There are people who are very bad in their activities. They are doing all the bad activities. They have no sila. But when they go to the Devala, Kovila, temple, they do a very big dana. Right? The large offering. Spending a lot of money for the place. So Devas cannot feel it. Because you are a bad person. You are trying to, purify your money with these activities. So they cannot intervene. That could be one thing. So that means in order for Deva to be happy and come forward and to help you, you must have something additional than what you own in your life. Money, dana, whatever. There are people who are saying, I've been praying for the Buddha all the time, but my life is so tough, even today. Why? Huh? There might not be a practice. You might go and then keep praying, pray. But what is your contribution to them? What is your contribution to the society? Your inner practice. That is very essential. So anyways, now we have to talk about baling. Bhante Ananda is saying to the Deva, Naga, Mahidika, please come forward and help them. At the same time, we don't know whether the people in the city of Visala really ask the help from the non-human being. That is another thing, right? Maybe they need a kind of an invitation for that. All right, so the Bali, Ratana Sutta. Don't let us discuss this again. Now you know the Bali, Pali word Bali. It is mentioned in the Ratana Sutta. Let's go to our text, Pattakamma Sutta. Right. Okay, there are 5 balis. Pancha means 5. Right? Pancha. There are some interesting numbers in Pali. Right? Numbers. I think it's a good time to learn. Huh? Ek means 1. Dukkha means, what is dukkha? Dukkha. Huh? Dukkha means 2. Then? Huh? Tatiya and T, 3. So there are numbers. Pancha means 5. Right. So there are 5 balis that you as a layperson must do. Nati bali number 1, atithi bali number 2, Pubabeda number 3, Raja 4, Devata 5. Let's discuss the first bali. Yeah? Nati bali. What does Nati mean? Nati? Huh? What is it? Nati. You can see the Nati. Nati means? Who are Natis? Relatives. Where do you find this Pali word? In other places? Huh? Transference of merits. How do you transfer the merits? Idam me nyati nang. Nyati nang. Nyati. Nyati means? Nya means no. Nyati means known ones. Known ones. Nyati means those that we know. So normally these could be mostly consanguineous people, blood relatives. Right? Normally. In Sanskrit, they say, Nyatis chet analenakim. When you have relatives, you don't need fire. When you have relatives, you don't need fire. Then sometimes when you have a lot of relatives, they are making the fire, all the time. Problems. More problems come. Lot of fire is coming out. Nobody can blow out, extinguish. Some are good Nyatis. Nyati. So Nyati Bali, offering to the Nyatis is number one. That means you have to under the third Pattakamma, the first thing is you have to set aside some money, allocate some money for the Nyatis. How do you do it? How do you do that? Maybe you are socializing with them time to time in the proper way. Maybe even your siblings might not be doing very well mentally, physically, financially. You think about them sometimes. Not only your family, your daughter, your son, your husband, your wife. Think about, we need to help them as well, right? Not everybody is doing well in many families, most of the families. So think about helping Nyatis, right? Relatives, you can see them. So taking care of relatives is a Buddhist activity. That means you have to use that money for that particular thing. What is happening within some families, especially when it comes to money spending? Let's say one mother has a few children, right? What do you think oftentimes happening? That they are always getting together, discussing who to spend money, how to spend money, or there are some arguments going on, right? Everybody has to make a fair share, or are they chipping at the same time properly? Or are there some arguments happening all the time, especially when somebody passes away, how to do the funeral, right? So there are issues. That means, but there might be a good Samaritan in the family. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything, right? Someone who is doing very well in the family, right? But anyways, as a lay person, under the third Pattakamma, after you make sure that your crisis management is done with the money, you have to focus also on Nyatis. Never ever mistreat your relatives. Take care of them. That's very important. In the proper way, sometimes you might be taken for granted. You have to be careful. Some relatives are not good, right? You have to be careful, but still contribute to them in a good way. Second is the first bali. Second bali is atithi. Atithi. Atithi means, who are the atithis? Guest. That means guest. Who are the guests? Strangers. The Buddha said we have to treat the guest. Would you mind helping a stranger on the street? Can you come to my house? I'll give you a treat. I'll give you lunch. I'll give you a dinner. In today's world, that's a bit scary thing, right? We don't know who they are. But you are inviting certain people over to your house. I'll give you a lunch. I'll give you a treat. So that's a good idea, right? That's a good idea. That's a Buddhist thing. Some people don't like inviting others, right? Maybe they have issues. They can't do it. Maybe they cannot afford. But if you think that you have a good guest, you are going to treat them. Nowadays, people don't invite them over to the house. They invite them over to the restaurant. Right? You don't have to work with the kitchen. The kitchen has smoke, right? There are no exhausting fans, This is happening in the West. In the West, people, they don't invite people onto the house. Let's go to the coffee shop. Let's go to cafe. Because when someone is going to buy a house in the West, they are going to the kitchen in the first place. This house maybe. You guys making a lot of curries here. That's why this place is, right, pretty bad, so dusty. And then all that. Anyways, you have to understand the condition of carrying these guests. It doesn't matter where you're going to bring them, but it is important as a layperson to treat guests. Now, just let me know who are your guests sometimes. Maybe your friends, maybe your co-workers. Who else? Huh? Neighbors. When I was talking this, someone said stray dogs. Guest. Some animals who are coming to my house. Birds, right? Huh? Squirrels, hummingbirds. There are many guests. Yeah, thinking about that, I really want to care them, right? Because when you have some guest, you feel happy. Not that you go to the grocery shop, you buy something, you eat alone, right? And become sick at a certain point. Right? So, guest. Yeah. Huh? They are uninvited guests. They are not invited person. So normally people say uninvited guests are not invited, you know. Well, I mean, you have to make sure that your house is a place, clean place, planning how. Yeah. Yeah. So then you always have a choice whether I should move to that house or not. Huh? That's why you have to plan where to buy the house. You might not think about it. You go to a very remote place and buy a house. That is not a good idea. Whether you are thinking whether I can practice my sila by moving on to this remote area. Let's say you are going to a place where there are a lot of other tiny creatures. You know that. But you like the weather. You like the landscape. You say it's breathtaking. There's a good ambience. But finally, you are asking the question, what to do now? So my question is, Buddhists, we believe the Paticcasamuppada. Every problem has a cause. Go back to the cause. Then you know the cause, then why you running after the result now? Paticcasamuppada means every problem has a cause. So we are going to prevent that cause happening anymore. Let's say you are in a house, suddenly cockroaches are coming out, you know. You're trying to think about how to remove these cockroaches. Either you have to let them stay in your house, you have to walk out from your house, either you stay with them. Right? These are not possible things. Right? So one party has to go out. Right? Either you let them stay, otherwise you have to walk out from the house. Right? So in the modern world, we are thinking in a bit modern way. This modern way is not that hippie way, rocky way. It is the way how we can live as a modern Buddhist. We can't go back to the Indian society. They are farmers. They had the goats, cows in the house. Can you keep these goats' houses in your house? You can't do it. That's why Buddha always picked up dogs, goats, cows. People don't understand now. Because now a different world. So we are looking at the Dhamma teachings through the different conditions. Not looking at the Dhamma teachings from the old conditions. Those conditions are not anymore available. Right? So the question is, Patirupa Desavasocha. That's the answer for this. Patirupa Desavasocha. Where do you find this? I'm going to again embarrass you. I don't know. I mean, I can't help not doing that. Where do you find this? Huh? Who said that you are chanting the Mahamangala Sutta? Bahudeva Manussacha Mangalani Achintim Akanka Mana Suttanam Bruhi Mangal. I think I better do a chanting class, because you don't know the basic, not a Sutta class, because you don't have the chanting knowledge. How we go to the Sutta class? Sutta class is a different higher level class, upgraded class. Because these are basic suttas, because we are picking up other higher suttas here. These are very fundamental basic ones, ABC, Mahamangala Sutta. This is a Mangala matter. What is this Mangala? Patirupa Desavasocha, living in a suitable locality is a Mangala. living in a suitable locality, crime-free neighborhood, unnecessary animals-free neighborhood. It is a mangala. Right? You are going to a house, very costly, but you are going to a crime neighborhood. And then you are claiming there are people who are shooting each other, stabbing each other, talking, noisy. Why? The Buddha said, before you buy the house, look at the locality, look at the neighborhood. Right? Paticcasamuppada. This is a mangala. What kind of mangala is this? Does this come to us automatically? No, we have to create this place. We have to create this particular place. All right, I think we are going back to certain other things. So, atithi. So, in that context, whenever you are moving out, moving in, you have to always understand, is this a good place for me to practice Dhamma? Without considering that, and you going to move out, move in, and then now you are claiming it is not a good idea, because that is not being a Buddhist. So always think about, and at the same time, even you are in an urban city, still when you don't keep your house clean and tidy, still some creatures can come. Ants. Now why are many ants coming into many houses? Because they eat everywhere in the house. Right? They have gadgets, so they bring the gadget to the bedroom and they are eating. And then you can't stop, these people are coming. Right? Sometimes they don't wash their cups and these ants are coming. Right? Sometimes you don't close the door properly, windows properly, mosquitoes have been coming. Now they are asking, should I kill or not? That's a bad question, you know. Should I kill the mosquitoes or not? I said, how come did the mosquitoes come in? There's something wrong with your way of handling the house. So we are always thinking the responsible part that we can play. When we look at the whole Buddhism, there's one answer to all the practices. A Buddhist is a responsible person. Why is it? Why do we practice mindfulness? To become a responsible person. If you are a responsible person, are you going to make a bad karma? You always responsible. I'm not supposed to do it. Right? So finally, it boils down to a responsible person. Sila, meditation, dana, all these are activities of a spiritually responsible person. That person will never, he plans well, plan ahead, learns from the past, and then, so guest. Anyways, you have to find out conditions to treat guest in the proper way. Did the Buddha treat the guest? Very good question. How did the Buddha greet the guest? He's not even he's not a talker. He's not just a talker. He is showing whatever he talks with his activities, actions. Tell me, how did the Buddha treat people? Did he go to the boutique shop and bought something and give to the people? No. This is how the Buddha treated people. In Pali we call his demeanor actually. Pubba hasi, pubba bhasi. First to smile, first to talk. When someone is coming to see him, he is the first to smile with that person in a distance. Are we doing that? No. Why should I smile? You know? Let them come. You know. Then I will think about it, smile or not. We are even very greedy for our organic smile. Huh? So Buddha is the first to smile. So that is how he engages with the people, you know, who are coming to see him. Pubba hasi. Hasi means the one who is smiling. Pubba means first. There are a lot of people who are pacha hasi. They smile at the end, you know, looking at the win-win situation, you know, they are taking the smile at the end. Then when the people come to see him, or the person come to see him, then after the smile, he is the first to ask, strike the conversation. How are you? What have you been talking? Such a very humble person, you know. We never, a lot of people never know this part of the Buddha. They only know letting go, nibbana, anicca. I mean, mind-boggling things. I mean, he's a normal person, a very humble being, right? So we have to learn from his life. Pubbahasi. I think this is a very important way to treat everyone. Whoever comes to you, I mean, we understand people. Sometimes it's not good to smile with the strangers, right? It's not nice. We don't do that. Even we don't make an eye contact with the strangers. It might be a problem. In the West, it's a rude thing, you know. You don't make an eye contact with people, right? They are thinking you are targeted by somebody to do something. But depending on the culture, maybe the Malaysian culture, the people might be soft-hearted, even in other cultures, even Sri Lanka, Burma. But the way how we interact with the guests, the people we don't know, should happen in our own cultural good ways. But finally, you should be someone who should have a proper good smile to welcome someone. What if that okay, one good example. You are going to a government office. Normally government workers are not smiling. Huh? Everywhere, pretty busy people, occupied. What a problem are these people are making to us, always coming to, you know. But if that one day, when you go to the government office, the officer is smiling with you, in the proper way, not in the bad way. What is the initial impression you are having? You feel happy about it, you recognize, acknowledge, and then coming forward and then asking, what do you want? But we see this from the private sector, normally. This is the normal attitude of the private sector, because they can be fired anytime. So they are scared of it, you know. I mean, we don't need to be fired, laid off by anybody. They have working ethics. So that's why having an organic, good smile at the beginning, when you are, we don't mind whether the other person smiles or not. That is your way, right? That is your good character. So you don't have to wait for other person to be good to other people. There are people who are thinking, other people have to be good to me first, then only I will be good to them, right? That is not the Buddhist way. Whether they're good or not, you are a good person. Wherever you go, then you will find the like-minded good people one day, somewhere. Otherwise, you will lose the good people one day. You won't meet them because you don't show who you are. Then, this is one of the good ways to treat anybody that you meet. In addition to this, you are inviting them for a treat, coffee, maybe other things. You have daily kindness activities. Do you daily practice some daily kindness? How do you do it? You are too busy to be kind. Huh? Too busy, I think. Don't. Right. Yeah, curry puff. Dim sum. Dim sum, huh? Dim sum, okay. Yeah, you do sometimes. Others, I would like to know. How are you practicing this atithi bali? Yeah? Because this is a bali. We have to practice, everybody. How are you practicing that? As he said, it's something every day or maybe once in a while. You are at least once in a while. Okay, good. Interesting. Okay. Murukku, Indian food. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Others, how do you practice daily kindness? Daily kindness. Every day you can, I would like to know what are you doing every day, you know. Yes. Share your house, you have a garden. Okay, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Others? Huh? That's good, huh? Smiling and then wishing, greeting every day, right? Yeah, that's such a good way. That's a very good thing. Some people cannot think about, they are too worried about their life, you know, from the morning till the end of the day. Very interesting aspect. Others? Huh? Okay. Yes. Sometimes this daily kindness is contagious. Long time ago, there was somebody who was behind someone who thought, okay, I'm going to pay for you. He paid for the matcha, ice matcha. And then the other person now, his drink was paid, I want to pay for the other person. So then this went as a row for 30 people who was, behind, maybe in a famous coffee shop. It is contagious. Why people are sometimes not kind means they have not been felt in the society that this kindness can be done as a group, daily kindness. Others, what are you doing to your in terms of your daily kindness? Huh? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some help, huh? Giving a help. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Others, what are you giving me the indication is that you are not being kind to anybody every day, or you are shy to talk to me? Are you shy to talk? When you talk about Dhamma, you can't be shy, You gotta air it out. Yes. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of kindness, yeah. But some people have a different argument. In some countries they say if you feed human food to the animals, then they are not going in their natural way to find food. So when you stop this, when you move out from this house, the next person who is taking over the house might not feed in the same way. There are different. But anyways, initially it is a kind activity. Now in some countries they say you don't treat the cats who are coming to your house. The one issue is that, let's say the cat is coming to your house in the harsh winter, let's say cat is going to die, they can sue you. Yeah, because you fed him, that's why he is coming, he got stuck in the harsh winter. I'm talking from the Canadian point of view. Don't let these cats, don't let these, not wild cats, they have some bells, and a number around their neck. So don't feed them. So when you don't feed them, they go back to their house. Right? There are no wild cats. Huh? You are feeding him? You are feeding him? Ah, okay. Okay. That's okay. That's his playful activities. Anyways, so how do you practice daily kindness? Others? You go and wish them? Ah, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. How many of you are giving rights to other people? There are some people who don't drive, some seniors. That's also a good way of being kind. How many of you reviewing places you visiting in a good way? Reviewing places you go, food, restaurants, services. You happen to see a good sales rep, maybe in a fashion shop, in a grocery shop, maybe in a salon, spa, right? Other places where you go, you feel good. You know that this person is going out of way to help people. You know that you want to, be kind to that person. You go back, you find out that shop, you do a review on Google. In a good way, that person will be promoted. Maybe the salary will be increased. Nobody can do that just by talking to that person. The boss is not there. How many ways we can think about to be kind to other people, being nice to these guests, Let me know other ways what you are doing. Maybe you might be a very wonderful being, who we never know. Others, how do you practice daily kindness? Ah, okay. For the benefit of many who are visiting the park. Others? It's inside the lock. Yeah, yeah. So you are making sure that they are safe. In some suttas like Kutadanta Sutta, Kutadanta, Buddha talks about a society, an ideal society, and in India where people don't lock their doors. We call it Aparuta Dwara, I think. I can't remember the Pali way. He's saying there is a ideal society. I think Bhante Mahinda might have discussed in his talks. He gave a talk, I think. I heard he told me. Kudadanta Sutta. So in this Sutta, Buddha says there is a society where people don't lock the door, simply they close the door. Now, when we go to Switzerland, we see people don't lock the door in some places. And even in Canada, long time ago, people don't lock the door. Even other people come and knock, can I have some lime, lemon, some spices? People are very connected at that time, right? So, adding on to what you said, but nowadays you have to tell them, close the door, lock the door, Bad guys preying on you. Other ways of being kind, how do you practice daily kindness? We'll take one more minute. Can we just let them answer first and we'll come back? Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, you are very unkind beings, who have been monstrous to the spiritual world. Yes. Let them go, Yeah, you want to go, you go. But something should happen to you, such a bad guy. You always want to take me away, Yeah, please, if you want to go, go. Yes. That means letting people go in their in whatever the good ways, we have to help them in the proper way. That is everyday kindness. Every day you are driving, there are some guys who want to really go fast, Actually, they can't even drive fast, They are getting stuck in the traffic, but it's a good feeling, Be kind to other fellow drivers. Others from the back? Anybody? Yes. Did you say cheap one? I didn't hear. Huh? Cheap price, okay, not cheap price, okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Feeding the birds. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Others? Yes. Huh? Yeah, metta is a part of. But what are the very direct kindness activities you do every day? Maybe you might be doing a lot of kindness activities, struggling what to say now, Maybe. Okay, we don't have lots of time. Anyway, so then, taking care of the guests. Third one is pubbapeta bali. Pubbapeta. Pubbapeta means this different kind of peta. Pubbapeta. That means those people who passed away. That means those who passed away. Now we all have grandfather, grandmother, maybe depending on your age, mother, father, whoever. So then we have to set aside some money for these people in terms of dana activities, merit transference, dana activities. Pubbapeta, you can see them as ancestors. You do that. What is that called? Chembeng? Is it Chembeng? Chembeng ceremony, ancestors. Now you think about your cultural activities are embedded in the Buddhist activities. How happy, huh? I'm a double Buddhist now. Double Buddhist. I mean, I've been practicing them long time ago. I've been, doing this ancestors. So then how do you practice this? You may have the Chembeng ceremony, and then as a Buddhist, how do you practice it? Every time you do a good karma, even at the end of this Dhamma talk, this discussion, you are thinking, may all the ancestors who are in suffering, who want good karmas, may they be able to come and take these good karmas. Normally it says when you do a good karma, they are eyeing on you. Yes, because then they are not happy at the end. This guy is a very selfish guy. Even after Dhamma talk, never give me good karma. Sutta discussion, they are going to many Sutta discussion, but never think about us. Such a very unkind being to us. So that's why we have to do this also. The fourth one is Raja Bali. Raja Bali means, Raja means king. Huh? Yeah, Sanskrit. Raja means Sanskrit. Yeah, the Malay comes from Sanskrit. Huh? Yeah, definitely. Pariksha, Malay. So Sanskrit is the oldest language. If you know Sanskrit, you can read Pali well. So that's one wonderful benefit I had, because I did Sanskrit for my bachelor's for 4 years, did my PhD in Sanskrit. So it's very important to learn Sanskrit. I mean, you can't do it now. It's too difficult. Sad news. But the good news is that at least you know some Pali words now. Because Sanskrit dates back to 1500 before Christ, BC. Now Buddha is 6 BCE, right? Buddha's time is 6 BCE. The Sanskrit is 1500 BC, Vedas Sanskrit. So the Magadhi comes from this time. They say the high class people in India, they talk in Sanskrit. The ladies cannot talk in Sanskrit. They say they are low caste in Indian society. They should talk in Prakrit language, like Pali. Pali is not a high class language, Magadhi Pali. But the Buddha picked up Pali because he wants to talk to everybody. So there is a underprivileged class that he wanted to approach. But Sanskrit Brahmins, priests, they never let other people talk in Sanskrit. So they said it's not good, it's a priestly class. So Raja Bali, what is Raja Bali? What is the offering to the, do we have to offer to the king? Are we supposed to? Huh? Pay tax, yes. As a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen, we have a role to pay the tax. So that is called Raja Bali. What else? This might come from a Buddhist idea. The Buddha told all the monks, Anujanami bhikkave rajanang anuvattatun. Don't exceed the government rules. Wherever you are, you may be somewhere else in India, you cannot exceed the government rules. You have to abide by. So monk is not above the law. That's the thing. That's what the Buddha said in the Vinaya. They all are under the law. If somebody is above the law, then there are corruptions happening in every country. Everybody has to be below the law, starting from every country. In some countries, they have a immunity, criminal immunity. Then the problems are happening. Because they all the bad guys are flocking together to that immunity. They get the protection. So the Buddha says, you have to respect the government. You are not above the law. That is one. So one thing is, become a law-abiding citizen, number one. This is one way. Paying tax is another, second level of thing. We all are supposed to become law-abiding citizen. Maybe there is corruption, we don't want to talk about it. But our part is to become a law-abiding citizen. That is offering to the king. Second is tax. Don't evade tax. Pay the tax. There are many more ways to think about. Final one is Devata Bali. I think with that we're going to wrap this up. Devata Bali. Devata means Deva, deities. So we have to offer things to Deva. How to offer things to Deva? How many gods you are paying respect to every day in your Chinese culture? How many? Many gods, huh? Many Devas. Huh? Many Devas. It's good. Good idea. The Buddhism, we believe that every house has a Deva. Right? Every house. But the kind of the Deva who is taking over the house depends on the quality of the family. Let's say there is a family who is always arguing each other, having issues among each other, then the low quality deva will take in, occupy the house. Yeah, I'm not talking from my opinion. It is happening. They are called Bummatta Deva. I think Ratana Sutta you can see Bummatta Deva. They are what you call ground Deva. You can see that Yani the Bhutani Samagatani Bummani Vaya. Bummani means those Deva. And there are Devas for the trees. They are not very well standard like the sky Deva. Right? They are the second layer of Deva. So Devas are everywhere. So always do their offering to the Deva. Actually, if you are a good person, even without offering things to Deva, Deva will come and help you. It happens. Yes. No, as a Buddhist, we have a couple ways to think about. Initially, giving good karmas to Deva. Actually, Devas don't need good karmas because now they are very happy people. But as you understand in other traditions, Hindu tradition, in your Chinese culture, in other traditions, they put offerings, right? They put offerings everywhere. So for the Deva, maybe some fruits, some other things, some incense, right? So in Buddhism, Buddha says, if you are someone who is having a very good character, who has sila, who is practicing Brahma Vihara, then Devas, without invitation as well, they are coming to help you. That means if you are a good person, that is the magic to all these Devas' arrival. So, but anyways, we have to give good karmas. Why are we going to give good karmas to Deva? It is because at the end of any good karma we are making, we have a certain mentality to own it. Let's say you are meditating for the whole day, you are listening to a Dhamma talk, you are chanting. What is mostly happening to many is a self-development, like I would say a self-centeredness, right? Because that is what happens. It's a human nature. So at the end of the ceremony, even today, what we are doing is we are sharing good karmas with the Devanaga Mahidika, transferring good karmas to these individuals. Why is it? To lower our selfishness that is directed to the good karma. Right? That's why some people, they even take photos of the dana items and post on social media, right? They want to make other people happy. Isn't it? Is it that? Or for some other reasons. They take the whole dana bowl and they post it up on Facebook or IG or other places. Maybe they might think that if you don't share it out to social media, dana is not properly shared. Anyways, so the reason why we are giving good karmas to Deva and especially Deva is to limit our sakkaya ditti. We are not carrying it as a selfish activity, right? So these 5 are the third layer of Pattakamma. Third Pattakamma. We have one more Pattakamma to finish. So the first Pattakamma was self-care. Second Pattakamma was about crisis management. Third Pattakamma is about sacrifices, I would say offerings to relatives, guests, ancestors, and then government, maybe the law, and then the Devas. All right, any questions for this? Any questions? You can come forward and ask from the mic if you have a question. Yeah, please come forward if you have a question. Is it very clear to all of you what we've been discussing? Then from today, yes, please. Then from today, try to see whether how many of offerings you've been doing in your life, whether you are properly doing these 5. Yes.
Hi, Bhante. I can't understand the fifth one, the deva. If uh, we, we do good, then we pass down to deva. What can I do for deva? Because I felt that I'm a lower person than compared to deva.
You are a lower person?
Yeah, I mean, like, if instead of like, I felt that I'm lower level compared to deva.
What makes you a lower person?
I mean, isn't it deva is higher than normal human?
No, no.
Oh, not really? Oh,
Nobody
okay.
is higher than anybody else.
Okay, thank
In
you.
this spiritual world, everybody is same, equal. But in terms of happiness, comforts, they may have more happiness. But in terms of the spiritual eligibility to become a Sotapanna, we are the highest. Devas cannot. Those guys have lots of happiness, comfort, then they cannot think about anicca, impermanence. Yes. So what can you do is that one is to share good karmas with them. That's number one. Second is that if you have a personal god, like in your Chinese culture, Shatigarbha, maybe other deva, Bodhisattva or other deva, you can do your thing. Actually, you cannot, I mean, in terms of many people's list of requests, Buddha cannot give all those requests. So you have to pick up a deva, right? Isn't it? They have lots of requests from the Buddha, right? Please, Buddha, please grant this to me. And so Buddha cannot do all that. Better to choose a personal deva. So what you can do is, there are certain traditions, cultures, they put certain offerings to the deva. You can do that. One of the good ways to do deva offering is, at the end of every good karma, think about the gods. That is the best way. Rather than buying all the fruits and everything and putting them, you can do that too, but better to share good karmas with them. Because we are not even sharing with them. What are we doing? We are sharing with them and we are asking some support and help, and finally we say, may you be able to attain Nibbana. So nobody is doing that on behalf of Deva. So that is a very, I think, very good way of offering the Deva. You know, wishing them to attain Nibbana. Because there were some Devas, once they die, they were born in the hell. Yes. Like an arrow struck somebody. Downgrade. Some Devas are downgraded to hells. It's like a high position officer was demoted to a lower management level. Maybe laid off from the whole company. Never ever expected. Senior post. It happens to some Deva. So when the Devas, when that is the condition to some Devas, then we have to, if we wish them Nibbana, I think that's a very big thing for them. Nobody does that. There are some Devas who die because of extreme anger. When some Devas come to see the Buddha to listen to some Dhamma talks, when he talks about anicca, dukkha, anatta, they get dizzy. They get dizzy and then they faint. Some Devas in some suttas. Then the Buddha asks, why are you getting fainted? Because we never know that our comforts will go to an end one day. They have never heard that in the heaven. Right? It's like a story in the text. There was a monk, I think. It was a monk, I think. Monk or somebody who is asking some sweets. Then the other monks or devotees told, we cannot buy, or maybe there are no such thing in our kitchen. Then he said, then bring me no sweets. He has never heard that, the Pali word, that there is no. Right? So people are into that kind of comforts. So it is better than think about wishing Deva Nibbana. Any other questions? Yes.
Bhante, I think on the second one, how do we deal with, let's say, friends, in the travelings or even for going out for lunch, who like to take advantage of other people? Should we keep on offering to them, or Or
How are
how
they
do
going to take advantage? You mean like letting you
like
pay?
they always refuse to pay, or they always take expecting other people to pay for them,
Okay.
or do everything for them, or they just don't contribute.
Yeah, that's why I think there should be a management. Maybe you can go Dutch.
No, I think you. Let's say
You can split the bill. You can go Dutch. You know, you
Ah.
can think about. You know, you have to. I always tell you have to be a smart Buddhist. Don't become that old version of Buddhist that every time you have to suffer and play the role of a foolish person. You know, unwise person. Be a very kind being. At the same time, be smart in your practice. Now, let's say you have been excessively kind to the wrong person. To the right person, yes, it's very good. That person understand your sacrifices. He or she may double, triple, quadruple the help back. But when you do to the wrong person, he or she is expecting more and more. It happens. So you have to understand. You have to, maybe you have to have a gut feeling, third eye, or whatever, you know. You could call it in your own way. Understand people. Understanding people is the biggest thing in our life, in our Dhamma practice. So then, it should be okay. So you have to understand how to keep a safe distance when you are doing help. That's very important. The safe distance is very important, right? We have to have we have to keep a safe distance when we are practicing our spirituality. Otherwise, when people know, bad people know that we are very spiritual, they are coming and trying to wash their feet on our head. In a bad way, I mean, they will do it. They can do it, right? That is why I always mention that cobra story. I think you know that story. The cobra was told that you cannot bite, but you can hiss. Then people know you are a smart being, right? So always understand how to be generous in different situations. Do your own personal investigation of how to become a wise Buddhist. Now I had to bring another word for Buddhist. Wise Buddhist. There are unwise Buddhists who don't know. So they are always going to be in trouble wherever they go. I think let's wrap this up at this point. So may all the good karmas you've been making today by understanding, learning the third Pattakamma be transferred to the departed ones. So actually what we are doing is third Pattakamma now. Pubbapeta Bali. Thinking about our ancestors, beloved departed ones. May all the departed ones receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Nati nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. May Deva Naga Mahidika also share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity and safety. At the same time, may they bless our Dhamma journeys. May they also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammehi sambataṃ punya saṃpadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba saṃpatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambataṃ punya saṃpadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba saṃpatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba saṃpatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devānaga mahiddhika puññantaṃ anumoditva chiraṃ rakkhaṃtu lokasāsanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devānaga mahiddhika puññantaṃ anumoditva chiraṃ rakkhaṃtu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devānaga mahiddhika puññantaṃ Chirang rakkhaṃ tumang paranti, chirang rakkhaṃ tutvan sadati. In this directionless, continuing sansaric journey, may we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mittas. Because of Kalyana Mitta friendships, we are, here both sides. We are learning from each other. At the same time, you are learning from me, and continuously investigate, learn these Dhamma things in your personal life as well. So may we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mittas till we attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thinking thus, we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammine mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we've been making today, by learning the third Pattakamma and then finding the third level of wealth management, may all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silis nichang vadha pacha inu chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samichatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And wishing you a good night and a safe journey back home. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Yes.